I'm struggling to come up with a world where Texas A&M doesn't wind up in the playoff. With a win at Notre Dame and the way their SEC schedule shapes up, I don't think they're going undefeated. I don't think Texas A&M is untouchable, unbeatable. I'd like to see Marcel Reed become a more consistent passer for the Aggies' sake, and if he does, then Texas A&M is not just a playoff contender, they're a national championship contender. They are suffering from the same thing Indiana routinely suffers from: helmet bias. You look at Texas A&M and you have a distinct vision in your mind of what that program is, because it's always been one that can't get over the hump. They haven't been incredibly relevant since Johnny Manziel. Yeah, this team just isn't like that. They really aren't. So they beat Auburn in a slugfest a few weeks ago. The story that I hear a lot with Texas A&M is the correct one, and that's that they can win in a lot of different ways. They win a shootout with Notre Dame. They beat Mississippi State, who's a solid team, by the way, soundly on their home field. They beat Florida. Watch out for what they have to do this week. Watch out for Texas A&M. They are going on the road to Fayetteville, to the Bobby Petrino-led Arkansas Razorbacks. And let me tell you, that's a team that can score some serious points. A&M defense, been in a groove the last few weeks. They have allowed 10, 9, and 17 points against SEC foes so far this year. Arkansas is going to beat that. Arkansas in Fayetteville will score more points than that. That's not a situation with the Razorbacks where you have an interim head coach that's just, he's just hit Penn State's interim. Whenever Florida has an interim head coach, Oregon State's interim head coach, not UCLA's. UCLA and Arkansas are the same. They have interim head coaches that should actually be dubbed interviewing head coaches. There once was a man, there still is, named Jake Dickert, who was at Washington State as the defensive coordinator, took over as the interim after Nick Rolovich was let go for off-the-field matters. And then Jake Dickert viewed himself and described himself not as the interim, but the interviewing, because he wanted the job. Jake Dickert is now an ACC head coach. Bobby Petrino has those same sorts of aspirations. I wonder if Tim Skipper doesn't have the same down at UCLA. Pretty hard to argue with what those two have done so far. Now, Arkansas did not win last week, but they went to Knoxville and gave Tennessee all they can handle. That's a top 10 team in my top 25, the Tennessee Volunteers. Do I think they're a national championship contender? Maybe not. Are they a darn good football team? Yeah. Yeah, they are. They've got talent. Aguilar's playing well enough. They are well coached. Arkansas is dangerous. I will not frown or just toss aside Texas A&M if they go and cover what, according to our friends at FanDuel, is a 7.5 point spread this week on the road at Arkansas. I will not, because Arkansas has got a coach that is highly motivated. He's not going through the motions. He's not Frank Reich at Stanford, who's just there for a year while they go and find an actual head coach. No, he is trying to prove, I'm the right guy for the job. Arkansas beating Texas A&M on their home field, boy, I tell you, that'd be a heck of a statement to the administration for Arkansas to say, I'm the right guy for this job. So Mike Elko and company have to be on guard this week. Let's talk about USC. I liked USC to beat Michigan last week. I picked against Michigan and was right again. And every time I do that, pick against Michigan, I hear a lot from Michigan fans. I get it. You don't like it when people say things about your team like they're going to lose a college football game, which has notably never happened in the history of the world. I'm going to talk about that Michigan-Washington game tomorrow on the show. Michigan fans, I encourage you to tune in. I'm sure you will anyway. I hope you do. But USC is good. And here's the difference. The difference with USC is twofold from what they have been in the past. USC is able to run the football, and USC can play some defense. I talked going into last week about how the Trojans' run defense was improved statistically from a year ago, not necessarily going to just shut Michigan out. It's not at that level, but it's better. It looks better. Michigan runs for, and Justice Haynes left with an injury. Hope he's okay. He's been awesome to watch this year. Michigan ran for 109 yards. 109 yards. That is a heck of an improvement. Let me just double check real quick because I want to get things right. Don't want to be inaccurate on the show. Last year in Ann Arbor, Michigan ran for 290. 290 to 109. If I do some quick math in my head, that's a 181-yard difference. You combine that with the fact that last year, Texas, why did Texas just pop into my head? I don't even know where that came from. Anyway, USC ran for 96 yards. On Saturday night, they ran for 224. They were gashing the Michigan defense. And this is the biggest point of evolution from last year to this year, even more in the run defense for the USC Trojans. Their offense, when they can run the football, is incredibly lethal. A lot of people wrote off Lincoln Riley as he's not good anymore. He doesn't have it offensively. And I was going, well, I don't know. He's not that far removed from having great offensive seasons. I don't think he's really lost the thread on how to coach offense. It just kind of seems like they're missing a couple things. Well, King Miller and Waymon Jordan, who I hope is okay because Jordan's fun to watch, ran the ball incredibly well. King Miller in this game, breakout performance, 18 carries, 158 yards, and a touchdown. These are two teams, Texas A&M and USC, that because of their recent history not getting over the hump, people love to write off, no, they're not going to, they can't do that, they don't do this anymore. Nope. That was a statement game for USC. Good vibes for both of them coming out of that game, those games. Good vibes. It's a good time to be a USC fan because they're moving in the right direction. It's a really good time to be a Texas A&M fan because if A&M this season, they could still probably lose 2 games and get themselves into the playoff. They go at Arkansas, at LSU, at Missouri. Yikes. Tough stretch of road games there. South Carolina, Samford, gross. And then they go at Texas. They're going to have to be road warriors now. USC, conversely, controls their own destiny to make the Big Ten championship game and the college football playoff. Well, I guess not the Big Ten championship game necessarily, since they don't play Indiana and they don't play Ohio State. But to get in the playoff, you know who they play this week? Notre Dame. Don't ever let this game go away. Please, college football, powers that be, don't let USC Notre Dame go away. That game is in South Bend. The Irish are favored. The Trojans might be one of my best bets later this week. Just food for thought. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.